we got to talk about our friends over at, are you ready for this? Are you ready for this, Deke?
Yeah.
Manscaped. I just get excited when I talk about them, bro.
Hey, man. They're trying to help all the guys out for the summer, right?
Hey, man, it's hot guys summer. You know that. And we all have to be prepared to perform at our highest level in whatever situation and scenario that we get in. So with that being said, you know what Manscaped dropped, right? Some type of performance package.
Yeah,
right?
you might have to remind me a little bit.
So with this performance package, right? I know you remember the 3.0, right? With the lawnmower 3.0, but now we got to have that 4.0 because, you know, the 4.0 has the new lawnmower 4.0 with the little like ticky that goes on and off so you can see where you're, you know, trimming, whether it's delicate or not delicate. Make sure you can see what you're doing. But with the lawnmower 4.0, that's included in the performance package 4.0, ladies and gents. Because in that performance package, you got to have your lawnmower. You have to have your weed whacker. We already talked about that. No nostril hairs, no ears hair. Those aren't attractive. People don't like that, all right? Shave them, trim them. But also crop reviver, crop refresher. So that way everything around your crop and your twins smell fine at all times, especially during these hot summer temperatures. But you know how we also say with this thing with Manscaped, man, we don't talk about it if we don't have a promo code, ladies and gentlemen.
Nope.
So if you use the promo code MOATS, MOATS, you will receive 20% off your purchase along with free shipping worldwide. D, that sounds like a great deal, man.
Always does, dude.
Sounds like
it seems like all these sponsors and these deals, they're good deals all around, really.
You know why? Because they know what's up. They're catching on to what we got growing here. And they're catching on to what y'all are doing as well. So y'all keep showing love. We keep showing love. They keep showing love. And we're going to keep this thing growing. But we got to talk about Joel Hernandez real quick, man. Joel, first off, we appreciate you.
This is a deep topic here.
This is right here, man. We appreciate the contribution first off. But he says, why has our defense in recent years seemed to struggle bad at the end of the season? Ever since that Jags loss, that seems to be the case. Joel, you bring up a good point. What I would say the previous two seasons, right? The year without Ben and the year with Ben. In both of those cases, it looked like the defense. Well, the first year, the defense got tired down the stretch. We talked about what they were having to deal with the combination of Mason and Duck and just the offense as a whole, not being able to sustain drives. So when you looked at how many snaps they were playing compared to how other defenses were playing, they were playing a lot more snaps. And that adds up. And that was with them being relatively healthy that whole season as well. But that was what I thought happened that first season. It just looked like they were getting burnt out down the stretch. It's hard to keep playing at a high level and bailing the team out that many times because at the NFL, we know it's geared for offenses. So in 2020, 2021, or even 19, to have a team that was led by the defense, that is hard. That is kind of rare for this generation.
They gave it their best go, too, because Sunday Night Football, they still played really good against the Bills, but then the Jets is where they faltered off a little bit, but not too much to where we still weren't in the game. Right. We had a chance at the end, and Juju dropped that one.
And for me, I looked at the last game of the season, the Baltimore one, the monsoon. I said it was a combination of the weather, a combination of we know that, man, we are on our last leg here because they had to win that and then have multiple other teams lose for them to get in. I thought that played into it. And then it just looked like Baltimore, who we know at the time, they were the 1 seed or the 2 seed. So
they were playing RG3. They had a bunch of backups in.
But you could just see like they looked like the guys that were just hungry to get reps. Guys that are, oh man, we're gonna be in the game. And they looked like that. Didn't they have like the rushing record that they had for the season? They broke it in that game as well. So that was to me what I thought happened that first year. Then last year, I thought the injuries took place. They didn't look as tired, but personnel wise, you talk about starting a playoff game. Or not even starting a playoff game, but going into a playoff game where you don't have Devin Bush, you don't have Bud Dupree, you don't have Alex Highsmith, you don't have, James Conner, you don't have, which offensive line were we missing at the time? We know Zach was already out the whole season, but DeCastro, I'm trying to think, he was available-ish around that time as well, but it was just a ton of just bad on that defense from injury standpoints, along with on offense, them starting to falter as well. And we said, man, when those two things started to happen, it's the recipe for disaster.
We were playing really nice team ball beginning of the year, and then it became the opposite.
Absolutely. It was just like, okay, one game, this unit might play well. Next game, this unit might play well. But that's the biggest reason why I think the defense had faltered off in both of those seasons since that Jags time frame in terms of these late end of season just collapses.
I'm trying to think. What was the year we went 9-6-1? Is that 2018, 2019? I don't know what we consider that.
Yeah, that was 18.
But I don't remember our defense falling off there. Because we beat the Patriots. We should have beat the Saints. We got just screwed by the refs.
That was the one, the Saints game and then the
Bengals game. We held them to low points.
No, but what happened also, because that was the year we didn't make the playoffs. That was the Browns. Who? No.
Ravens made it. Browns needed to beat them.
Yeah, the Browns.
Baker Mayfield.
He threw the pick at the end. That's definitely what it was.
I don't think our defense faltered that much. We just had so many bad breaks that year.
It was so many. Ton of just unlucky stuff happening, man. Whether it was calls, whatever.
Because us beating the Patriots was pretty clutch, and then us almost beating the Saints. We should have beat the Saints, and then it's not like we gave up a ton of yards against the Bengals. That was when AB sat out. If anything, our offense was a little off that game.
Because AB had like the surprise sit out. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember our defense faltering there. Actually, I think if we would have made the playoffs, like if we would have beat the Saints, we would have been the team no one wanted to play that year.
Because we were hot right there.
I know.
We were stringing together win after win. Offensively started to click. Like that game for the Saints, like remember how Juju, like he played.
The Saints went to the NFC Championship.
Yes. And that was the year with the
Patriots won the Super Bowl. Like we essentially beat both those teams.
Yeah, man.
That hurts.
Yeah.
That hurts.
Yeah, it was a ton of nonsense with that, man. Absolutely.
He's right about the Jaguars, though. Defense then and the defense last year. But there is, I guess, somewhat similar reasons with Shazier being hurt. And then last year we had so many injuries, too. That's kind of the reason. But then the Duck season, though, you're right. Like, we had no hope, especially when Mason went out.
Think about how many games, like that San Fran game we watched where we're saying to ourselves, we have 5 turnovers.
Yeah.
How are you losing 5 turnovers? And then we said, oh, it's not just enough to get turnovers. Now we're actually scoring on defense. Think about how many games we would score on defense, man.
Colts, yeah.
And it's just like, bro, what are we doing? And we're still barely getting out of these stadiums. Like, that is hard to do, man. You don't, listen, goals that we typically set going into a game. You want to get 3, you try to get 3 sacks, you try to force 1 turnover. And if you get a score on defense, great. Them boys is going in there saying, man, we trying to get multiple turnovers on defense along with getting a score. And we're not going to allow more than, because when we were there, the rule, we said 17 points. We would try to keep any team under 17. They probably
said 10.
They definitely altered theirs because you got to alter it sometimes. Like I've been places where it's like, hey man, this was the goal. That can't be the goal anymore. This is the new goal. And you're like, bro, are you for real? Like, this was already enough. Like, this is crazy. But they were doing it. But it's just hard to do it for that long and still survive like that. Like, this is the NFL, man. As much as we like to get on these players, this is the NFL. These guys, they can do it at a high level, man. So, yes. That was a really good question right there, though, man. Shout out to you, Joel, for that, man.